Hello and welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Sunny. So today we're going to be making this insanely mouth-watering savory pumpkin puree. So I chose red curry squash to make this with, but this will work with any kind of variety of pumpkin. And what we do is we make a little herb, onion, and garlic mixture, and we're gonna put it under these pumpkins, which steams them from the inside out. Then we make a brown butter, which we mix with cream and blend into our puree, which makes the most luscious, divine, mouth-watering puree you will ever try. Trust me on that one. So I chose a red curry variety, but this method that I'm about to teach you is gonna work with any kind of pumpkin, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so first things first, we are just gonna half the squash. Just be careful when you're doing this, obviously. You know, a lot of times what I do with big squash like this is I get the knife in a little bit, pick it up, and just tap it, and you can just tap through the rest. Also, these seeds right here, do not throw these away. I'm gonna put a link in the corner about how I cook these pumpkin seeds. They make the most amazing snack, and you can cook any pumpkin seed that comes out of any pumpkin, even jack-o'-lantern pumpkins and everything else. So definitely save those. I'm just gonna scoop some of these seeds with a large metal spoon. Look at all those seeds, man. Do not waste those. So as this is going to be a puree, a medium dice is going to be fine. You really don't need to slice it through the middle. So here I've got some thyme, some rosemary, and some sage, and we're going to just chop this with some scissors into our onions. Just about 3 times there on the length. Garlic. We're going to smash 4 cloves. So we're gonna pour a little bit of olive oil on here and just give this a really good mix. A little bit of olive oil down right onto our squash, into the center. Surprise, surprise, rosemary salt. When it works, it works. So just season the inside of these with the rosemary salt, so we got the same flavors in there with the rosemary, the sage, and the garlic. Let's make a little pile. And we're going to take our pumpkin and set it over the top. So what we're doing here is we're going to create a bunch of steam and flavor and aromatics coming from the inside out as we cook them, as they bake as well from the outside in. Make sure you get a piece of garlic under each pumpkin. So these are going straight into the center of a 375-degree oven. I don't know, roughly 45 minutes, an hour. We have to see how fast they cook, but I'll let you know more about that when they come out. The next thing we're gonna make is some brown butter, or beurre noisette if you wanna be a about it. Of course, the French are excluded from that one. They can say beurre noisette as much as they want. Right, so what's happening here when we brown butter, right? So if we refine milk, we get cream. When we over whip cream, it separates, and so the butter gets pulled out of that, and then what's left over is the buttermilk. So butter always has some residue from the cream and the milk, like proteins that are left over. So those are what's gonna brown here in a second and give us that amazing flavor. It's the leftovers from the cream and the milk that are inside the butter. So now it is starting to foam. It just started. So we're gonna start whisking. You will see the browning start to happen first around the edges of the pan. And you know, there's different varieties of brown butters. You can do them lighter or darker. We're just gonna make a nice golden brown butter for this puree. So when this butter is foaming like this, you also know it is really, really hot, so be careful while you're doing this. And what I like to do to check it is to get a spoon, right? And you can sort of see how it's starting to go a little bit golden brown. So all those milk solids are really starting to brown now. You can smell it too. The whole flavor is completely changing. You guys see that? So we're almost there. Okay, that's it. Heat off. Straight through into the strainer. And there is our brown butter ready for use a little bit later. Right, so these were roasting for 40 minutes in my oven. Could be a little different for you, but when I'm sticking a knife in, it's just going in nice and easy. We don't need to cook them more than that. So these are done. Let's continue to the next step. Okay, so let's carefully go ahead and reveal what's underneath. So wow, I mean, it really steamed from the inside out. And so we're gonna pick through these herbs and onions, get all the onions out, and we're gonna use that in our puree as well. Whew. These smell so good. It smells like Christmas stuffing, you know? All the sage and rosemary, garlic. So once that's cooled down, just start picking out those herbs to the side. Garlic's gonna go in the puree, so save that. And it's okay if there's a few little leaves left, but you wanna get like the bulk of these out. They did their job as far as perfuming and steaming the inside of these squash. So in here, I've just got some heavy cream. We're just gonna bring that up to a simmer. We don't need to boil it, we just wanna get it hot. We're gonna then add our brown butter to this, and then we're gonna add it to our pumpkin and puree it in the blender. Okay, so the cream is nice and hot. Let's add our brown butter. Make sure you get all that goodies in the bottom, that's the good stuff. So what we're gonna do with our squash, once it's cooled down a little, is just smash it against the bottom of your tray. Now once you've done that, you should be able to easier just peel it pretty easily. Even just taking a spoon, and as you peel the skin back, just start pulling the flesh. You can eat this skin, and in fact there's a lot of nutrition in there, but because I'm making a puree, I don't want to do that. When that's done, just retrieve your onions and your garlic, put that over the top. Okay, so our squash mixture isn't piping hot, but it's still hot, and our cream mixture is nice and hot. We need this all to be hot so it's gonna blend really smooth. So you don't want it to be cold, but not like super hot either. Okay, so in goes some of our squash mixture. Some of our brown butter and cream going right in. Almost covered, but not quite. And blend. So we're just gonna add a little bit of turmeric, not to make it really taste like turmeric, but this is really gonna exaggerate that already beautiful color of the squash and just take it to the next level. Let's taste this for seasoning. So I'm gonna season it up with a little more rosemary salt. It just needs a tad. It tastes so good. How beautiful that color is. Oh my God, that is so good. Just empty that out into a pot if you're gonna be using it this night. So by the way, this is also the exact same way I would make a pumpkin soup. The only difference is I would add a bunch of stock, whether that's a vegetable stock or a chicken stock, something like that. And then just thin it out and get it to that desired texture you like for soup. Some people like it thicker, some people like it thinner. So here's some ideas for serving it. You know, you can do that little swoop with the puree right there, or you could even save one of your half pumpkins and serve it inside of that. Put that inside the center of your table at Christmas dinner. You know, people will go wild. Let me taste this. I kid you not. I'm just gonna say it, man. It's better than the best mashed potatoes I've ever tried. The flavor of that squash in combination with the brown butter and the rosemary salt with the sage. Oh my God, get out of here, man. It's insane. Well, that is it for today, my friend. I hope you got some value out of this content right here. And if you liked it, do not forget to leave it a like, and I will see you next time.